So we begin first with Deep Rock Galactic. So Deep Rock Galactic is a 1 to 4 player co-op game, FPS, where you play as some dwarfs, colony of dwarfs, and you have to go into different areas, different maps, mine for resources, and also fight off the bug-like alien creatures. So these are procedurally generated sort of cave type areas that you have to go into and defeat these aliens. But once you get what you are trying to extract, you can get out. So very popular game on Steam, 96% rating, overwhelmingly positive, both recent and overall. Has a decent number of people playing, priced very reasonably. So even now, even though this is just a co-op game, we have 8,000 people online. Daily peak is about 20,000, and it is now 67% off. So it's always at this price, 67% off, just under $10 at $9.89. 230 in India, $8.24 in the UK, $11.54 in Canada, and $9.89 in the Eurozone. This is probably one of the most popular co-op style games. Next we have Subnautica. So another very interesting, you could say, open world survival crafting game with a bit of an interesting story, sci-fi elements, horror you could say. And yeah, the story is you crash land on an alien planet and you have to find a way to get out, also figure out what's happening, the story behind this planet, and looking for survivors from your ship, reading the PDAs and things like that. I played it a few years ago. Fantastic game. I've not come across anything like this. The crafting system is fantastic here. This also got a big overhaul and update to this game, even though it was complete in late 22. So it is an amazing game. There is this excitement of being in the ocean, and also the scary parts, I guess, some very scary creatures here. So again, another game that is overwhelmingly positive at 95, almost 96%, both recent and overall. And this one is 67% off as well. $9.89, $4.94 in India, $8.24 in the UK, $13 in Canada, and $9.89 in the Eurozone. Next is Resident Evil 2 Remake, more of a recent AAA game. And this is also my introduction to the Resident Evil series, and I'm a big fan now. Fantastic game, decent length campaign, the whole setup, graphically it looks good, and it's just a very well made game. So you have two characters, you can play the story twice and get slightly different stories and perspectives of the events that happened here. And yeah, very fun game. Capcom has been on a roll, and they have sort of revived the Resident Evil series, if you will. So again, another game with both recent and overall reviews being overwhelmingly positive, so 95-96% once again. And this goes at its usual 75% discount price. So this is $9.99, $4.99 in India, $8.74 in the UK, $13.74 in Canada, and $9.99 in the Eurozone. Next we have Halo the Master Chief Collection. So a few years ago, Xbox decided to port their games to PC, and they brought along the early Halo games all the way up to Halo 4. This bundle has 6 games, and yeah, you can experience the whole saga here on PC now. Initially there were some issues, but it's been patched, it's been fixed, and this is a great bundle for people who never had an Xbox or who wanted to play it on PC. Now, the retail price sadly has gone up for this one recently, so it may not be a great deal now in India compared to before, but it's still a great value in terms of the number of games you get. You get Halo Reach, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo 4. So you get all of that. So it's still not bad, but yeah, the base price has been increased quite a bit. So it is $9.99 in the US, $8.37 in India, $8.49 in the UK, $12.49 in Canada, and $9.99 in the Eurozone. Next up is another game that I mention frequently. This is Frostpunk. So Frostpunk is a difficult survival city builder style of game, and I've not played anything like this. This was a fantastic game. A lot of new games have been inspired by this now, and a sequel to this is also coming out later this year, like in May or something. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, this was a brutal, challenging city builder style of game where you have to keep your population alive in extreme conditions, manage resources, make difficult choices, and yeah, overall very entertaining game, very difficult game as well. It's made by 11-bit studios, and most of their games have been pretty interesting so far. So this is 80% off, $599, 260 in India, 499 in the UK, 779 in Canada, and 599 in the Eurozone. Next, we have an FPS game, an atmospheric survival style post-apocalyptic one, and this is Metro Exodus. So this is the third game in the trilogy, the final game, based on the books of the same name, Metro 2033. And yeah, we continue with the story of Artyom, and this one is more open world in nature, also more of above ground, let's say. And yeah, a pretty good game as well, very intense and very good looking graphically as well, has RTX and all of that support. So this is 80% off, $599, 450 in India, 529 in the UK, and 829 in Canada. There's also a gold edition, which is basically the base game plus 2 story expansions. We have Sam's story and the 2 kernels. So this is a little more at $8 and 600 in India. Next is a fun little indie game. This is Lonely Mountains Downhill. So basically it's you and your bike going downhill on mountains, and you have different times to complete the courses in. Difficult terrain, you can fall off the map, you can fall into a tree, hit a tree or something. So you can go down. When you're going downhill, you're going pretty fast, so you have to manage that as well. And it's got a different perspective, so controlling that is also a bit tricky, but it's fun. I played it via the Game Pass. I think I bought it on Steam later on, but yeah, very enjoyable game, nice little indie game, and it's got very positive reviews, 87%. There's also a demo available, so you can check it out if you wanted to see how it plays. And this is 65% off, only $7, 197 in India, 629 in UK, 769 in Canada, and 699 in the Eurozone. Next is Kingdom Come Deliverance. So this is a very popular recent RPG. First person, this is set during the Holy Roman Empire period. You play as Henry, and he is trying to avenge the death of his parents. Very good looking game, also a little on the difficult side. This is also not fantasy, there's no dragons and stuff, it's based on historical events. And yeah, overall very, very positive game, maybe a little on the difficult side, but generally everybody loves it. If you like these sort of historical settings, knights and stuff like that in other games like Mountain Blade or things like that, then you should probably enjoy this one as well. So this is 80% off, $599, $336 in India, $529 in the UK, $829 in Canada. There's a Royal Edition which has more content, more DLCs and stuff. I think it's the complete version. And this is 80% off, $799, $448 in India, $699 in the UK, and $11 in Canada. Next we have Desperados III. So this is a story-driven, real-time stealth tactics style of game set in the Wild West. So this is made by the same people who have made Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, and the recent Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew, or something like that, whatever it's called. So again, a very nice looking game, really good graphics. You have to sort of sneak around, but the fun part here, at least for me, was the fact that this was in real time. You did not have to wait for turns and things like that. So it worked very well with that, and it's got the ARPG look in the isometric perspective, I mean. And yeah, overall, very well made game, very good looking, overwhelmingly positive on Steam as well. There's a demo available, so you can check that out. 75% off, usual sale price, $999, $400 in India, $837 in the UK, $999 in Canada, and the same in the Eurozone. Next we have Weird West Definitive Edition. So another game with a similar theme and similar look. Another game set in the Wild West basically, but this one has some supernatural elements, also real time. And this one here is a collection of 4 or 5 stories, interconnected stories, where you play as different characters and figure out what's happening. So some supernatural stuff happening here and spooky. I played again from the Game Pass, really liked it, and they have a pretty big demo available here as well. So you have several characters. The first one you play as is a bounty hunter, and I played like 4 hours or something, and I was still on the bounty hunter quest line. So that whole quest line is available as a demo, so you could try that out. And then the full version of the game is 75% off, $10, $374 in India, $774 in the UK, $11 in Canada, and $10 in the Eurozone. Next we have Wolfenstein II, The New Colossus. So the sequel to the reboot of Wolfenstein game, another fun game, FPS, very gory, you're killing Nazis by the hundreds. and yeah, over the top weapons, things like that. So yeah, it's a great fun game. Should be like 10-12 hour campaign wise. I like the first one quite a lot. I haven't played this one though. I did play the main game and the first game and the standalone DLC, but I did not play this one yet. I don't even know if I have this. Anyway, there's a demo available. You can grab that, and this is on an 85% sale. So $599, $299 in India, $374 in the UK, $824 in Canada, and $449 in the Eurozone. Next, we move on to something a little more interesting. We have Gears Tactics. So this is a game set in the Gears universe, but it plays like an XCOM style game. And overall, I thought the execution was decent. It wasn't perfect, obviously, but surprisingly, it works well with this Gears setting. Again, I played it via the Game Pass. I did not finish it, but I got a bit into the game. Initially, it was quite straightforward, but it started getting a little more challenging later on. But yeah, overall, it was still pretty good. I liked it, and this is quite affordable on Steam. They haven't changed the retail price on this game like they did with Halo Master Chief Collection. So this is 75% off, $10, only $224 in India, $874 in the UK, $1249 in Canada, and $10 in the Eurozone. Next, we have Ghostrunner. So another fantastic, fast-paced cyberpunk action game, you could say, a ninja, where you play as a ninja, and you have to, there's a lot of wall running. You basically hit, you kill with one hit, you also get killed with one hit. So it's that sort of thing. So difficult game, intense story. There's a sequel out as well, but this was fantastic. I had pre-ordered this game and I really liked it. So it's on a good price now. There's a demo available, you can check that out as well. 70% off for this one, $899, $629 in India, $749 in the UK, and $12 in Canada. Next, we have a Souls-like game. We have the Surge 2. So I often mention Surge 1. This is another game, and this is also pretty decent. So once again, you have an exoskeleton, you fight other people, you defeat them, you chop off their limbs and other useful parts and attach it to your exoskeleton to make yourself more powerful. And yeah, overall, interesting game, and for a AA style game. And these days it's very cheap. So this is again 80% off, $599, $279 in India, $499 in the UK, $799 in Canada. And then finally, we have Dying Light. So another very popular game I often mention, is frequently on sale pretty much every other week, it seems. And it's still a lot of fun. Open world game, lots of zombies to kill, a lot of creative things to do, fully playable in co-op, a big city, crowded city, parkouring, first-person parkouring, I think is one of the best in this game. And yeah, overall, fantastic game, lots of content. They now have a definitive edition, which has all the things included, so all the skins and cars and weapons and stuff like that. There's also an expansion called The Following, which is part of this definitive edition. So this is 80% off for the definitive edition, $999, $299 in India, $7 in the UK, $1139 in Canada, and $999 in the Eurozone. So yeah, that's it. That's a quick look at games under $10. Next video, I'll be looking at games under $5.